So I got, Cindy and I got your email, and I do. First of all, I just want to say I appreciate you forwarding your email to us with some of the comments you picked up, and I appreciate you reaching out to us before going to print. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, no problem. I didn't want to really do that, because I felt what they were saying was kind of explosive, and I really wanted to give you guys a chance to respond and to talk about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So where would you like to begin? I mean, obviously we do know a lot about this particular project, and we have expressed a number of concerns about the project, and have participated in a number of meetings and discussions with regulators and the company about the project. We've been doing that for about 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
We filed comments with CRMC on the project about 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago.
Right.
So we do have a number of concerns about the project.
Right.
So I can talk about those if you'd like. I also want to make sure I address some of the comments of some.
Well, if you want to address the comments, either way, I guess we should do both. But I'm really interested in. I guess there's a perception that Save the Bay, because I guess some of the work he did against LNG in like 2007.
Right.
There's a perception that Save the Bay is anti-natural gas, that they don't see it as a bridge fuel, that they've held the line on this in the past, and now I guess the residents were expressing they were surprised. At least this one woman was very surprised. I think she was from the east side because she had that kind of air about her, but she was very surprised that Save the Bay wasn't strong on this, and saying, well, as strong on this as they were against the 2007 plant. How's that? That makes
sure. Well, that's a good place to start then.
Okay.
So you have to go back and understand what our position actually was, and this goes back to earlier than 2007, but we pursued with great vigor as it relates to the Hess LNG terminal construction proposal, terminal facility proposal, which went through a couple of phases. But our position was never that we were opposed to natural gas. That was never our position. Our position was we were opposed to a terminal in the middle of Narragansett Bay that would represent an import facility for natural gas.
right.
And our position was based on the environmental impacts of the terminal proposal and the public access impacts of the transits of the vessels that would be that would have resupplied the terminal.
Right.
So we've never staked out a position we are against. We don't have a position that we're against natural gas.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
And to have so it sounds like there may be a misperception that our opposition to the LNG terminal was based on our opposition to a fuel. It was not based on our opposition to a fuel. It was based on impacts to Narragansett Bay.
Right. And that, I guess, gets to the idea that the person who responded to that, who I don't know, was another guy. He said that it seemed to him that the opposition was based on the idea that it was going to interfere with sailboats of rich people, so that was a concern, whereas this talks about the health impacts on people in the community, and it's not a concern.
Well, let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
We have been working for more than 3 decades to clean up the Providence River,
Yeah.
and we have been doggedly pursuing pollution issues, both air quality and water quality issues,
Right.
related to the Providence River for 3 decades.
Mhm.
So that is the record. That is what we have done for so
Right.
many years. In fact, you're probably aware, we've been pushing on some of the scrap yards that operate on the waterfront, both for water quality issues and air quality issues.
Right.
One in particular has been an egregious violator of both air quality and
Oh,
water,
yeah, that's the
water
one that's not
quality rules.
permitted, right? There's like one scrap metal place that's not permitted at all, and they just...
Well, there's one after our advocacy, the Attorney General's office intervened and is in court with the company to enforce basically Clean Water Act regulations that govern water quality, and there have been air quality issues in that case as well.
Right.
So for anyone to argue that we don't care about the Providence River and the urban centers of the city of the state are just not well informed about the incredible amount of effort we put into advocacy around pollution issues for decades.
Cool.
It goes to water quality and wastewater treatment, stormwater, public access, and industrial pollution, like we see at the scrap metal yard on Allen's Avenue.
Cool. No, that's good. I felt, here's the thing. I put that in there because I thought this was a conversation I have. And a lot of times my reports get conversational in the sense that what people say. But I felt here we were pushing up against some stuff that I didn't feel comfortable reporting just what these people were saying in general.
Well, it's one thing, people may have their opinion and they may not necessarily be well informed.
Right.
But an opinion is not fact, at least in the era pre-fake news. So I'm glad you're doing your homework.
No, it's cool. Let me ask you this too, because I talked and I hesitate to give names because this person I do know, but she's associated with the Environmental Justice League. I'm sure you know them. And
I do.
Yeah, and she said that National Grid has not been not National Grid. Save the Bay has not been a good partner with the community in helping them to oppose the LNG liquefaction terminal that's going up there. And she feels that there was more that Save the Bay could do when they're not really stepping up.
Well, I'd say a couple things.
Yeah.
I have met with folks at Environmental Justice League of Rhode Island. I certainly appreciate their concerns about the plant, particularly from the perspective of traffic, truck traffic. But let me I guess where I wanted to go with the sort of first comment here is that we do care a lot about the environmental impacts of the plant. And we have, as I said, filed comments with CRMC, for example, on issues that principally relate to the Bay. That's that's the lens through which we view most environmental issues.
Sure.
And I think it's important to state an obvious fact that this is not a new liquefied natural gas storage facility. The facility has been there for decades. And
Hello? I think I just lost you.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. And?
Yeah, so I think it's important to recognize that this is not a new LNG facility.
Right.
The facility's been there for many, many, many years, and you obviously know. I'm sure you know and understand the nature of the project the company's proposing.
Yes.
It's basically to improve the utilization of the plant, of this storage facility.
It would allow them to store something like 4 to 7 times more gas in the same space because they'll be able to liquefy it, and therefore it curdles up
that's
smaller.
actually not true.
Really?
Actually, the gas it's a liquefied plant.
Yeah.
What is correct is that the liquefied natural gas that is delivered to the plant today, to the storage tank, is delivered by truck in liquid form.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have today are trucks that are loaded up in Everett, Massachusetts, in Boston Harbor. They're trucked down here. They're offloaded in liquid form in the plant. And then as conditions and demand conditions dictate, the company bleeds gasifies the gas and bleeds it into pipelines that feed local customers. I think their primary customer is the Manchester Street Power Station.
Yeah, so what is the liquefaction plant going to do then? It's going to...
So what that does is reverse the flow. What they want to do is bring in, instead of driving trucks through urban areas, through the middle of Providence and the middle of Boston that are liquefied natural gas, that represents a health and safety hazard right there. Mm-hmm. What they want to do is bring in the gas from northwestern Rhode Island, from the Connecticut pipeline, and liquefy. The gas is delivered in pipeline. The gas is delivered. Gas runs through pipelines in gaseous form. Mm-hmm. So what they want to do is during sort of shoulder seasons, when there's relatively low demand for gas, they want to bring gas in, liquefy it, and store it in the tank.
Okay.
And then as you get a heat wave or a cold snap, the tank is full, then you can bleed out that gas in either gas or liquid form into a truck if it's liquid form, or a pipeline if it's gaseous form, and deliver the gas in that fashion. So basically what they're proposing is to reverse the flow of gas as it comes into the plant.
Right.
Okay, So that's, and if you want more, I'm not an expert on what they're.
Oh no,
proposing.
and I have, obviously I'm not either. So yeah, this is all.
It's all relevant. What's relevant from our perspective are the environmental impacts associated with this specific project, given that there is already a liquefied natural gas storage facility there.
Right.
And one of the key concerns we've had, and we've expressed this principally to the CRMC, which is one of the key regulators on this, is the hazard associated with storm surges that from time to time do come up the Providence River. And we want to be sure that the design criteria, the design rules that are used to design the liquefaction plant and that are used to protect the storage plant reflect the most recent and most up-to-date projections as it relates to sea level rise and storm events. So we have been very concerned about that particular issue to ensure that if and when this thing gets built, that it's done so safely to protect the city from the hazards associated with the plant, either the liquefaction plant failing, pipe breaking,
right,
or the storage tank rupturing associated with a storm surge. We've also had concerns, other sort of issues related to the other regulations that govern development along the coastline.
Right.
One of which is water quality.
Yeah. So water quality is because it because of runoff, or is it because of the dust?
Right. There's water quality. Two perspectives. One is water quality during construction. Mm-hmm. We want to be sure that water quality is protected. Then there's water quality during once it's constructed. Water quality associated with operation.
Right.
And those are things that the company can accommodate if they design it properly, and we're pushing hard to make sure that those design considerations are thorough and are adequate to meet the potential challenge, potential environmental impact.
All right, cool. So I'm trying to think of what else is in that email because I'm not at my computer. I'm outside. I'm sorry.
Sure. Well, there's one issue.
Yeah.
I've got it here in front of me. There was. I think we've talked to a couple about a couple of them. The thing that you can imagine I'm most upset about was the comment about about sailors and sailing for rich people and so forth.
Yeah.
I think we've already talked about that.
Absolutely.
And we have a long history of advocacy around environmental issues that affect the city directly, and particularly the Port of Providence.
Right.
We've worked very hard on that, on environmental impacts there. And I'm just trying to see if there's something else here. As I said, we have been, making sure that we understand all the facts and have commented on this for the public record.
Right.
So.
That's the other part of it is that's right. The other part of it is.
There's something about funding. Yeah.
Right, funding. Right. So the idea that National Grid supplies money to your organization, so therefore you tend to go easier on them, right? The idea that...
Right.
Yeah.
So let me give you a couple of facts about that.
Yeah.
First of all, National Grid has been a funder on and off, depending on various grant proposals and various grant cycles, on and off for, 20 years.
Right.
We have a grant. Our most recent grant is a $10,000 grant for environmental education programs. We have a $3 million budget.
Yep.
So I think it's important to keep that fact in mind, that it's not like National Grid is our largest funder. They're nothing like our largest funder. Mm-hmm. They're, for us, a very small funder. It's also important to note that with every funder, we make it very, very clear if there's any potential conflict of interest, right, that might not even be known.
Yep.
And that we form our policy positions independent of funding, and
sure,
that's been a cardinal rule of Save the Bay for 47 years.
Cool.
We have never modified a policy position based on money from a funder.
Right.
In the case here, we've had funding from National Grid, and that long predated our policy position on this, long predated the project. So
yeah.
The fact that we've gotten funding from them over the years is in no way influences our perspective in this project, and I think it's important to keep in mind the relative
What would you say?
impact there.
What would you say to somebody who came back at you and said, "Well, isn't there an inherent conflict between an environmental group and a fossil fuel company?"
Well, I would say, first of all, National Grid is principally a distributor of energy.
Right.
That's what they do. They're not a generator. We have, they are not a fracking company.
Right.
They do not explore for oil and gas. We have, for example, turned down funding from Shell Oil, from
Right.
ExxonMobil. We've turned down funding from Scott's Miracle-Gro, which is a very good company, but they sell a product that we have a really hard time with, which
Sure.
is fertilizer,
Right.
lawn fertilizer. So, these are examples of companies whose, it's not, one can argue whether they're good or bad, but what I would say is that the basic business of the company in these three examples are businesses that are, that we cannot support and condone as it relates to our mission. Again, we are not what we are is an advocacy organization for the environmental health of Narragansett Bay. Right. So these are some examples. National Grid, their primary role in life is to distribute electricity. That's primarily what they do, and they're the monopoly distributor of electricity in Rhode Island.
And gas,
so,
though.
And gas, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So gas, I mean, that's the thing. They distribute this large amount of gas, and they're trying to increase the footprint of gas, so people see that as maybe not the best use of money or not a good player environmentally.
Well, you can view it that way. I think various people have different perspectives on gas as a bridge fuel, and now you're getting into that whole argument of natural gas as a bridge fuel.
I know.
I would say to you that we would be the first to affirm that our expertise lies in water quality and the environmental health of Narragansett Bay and its watershed.
Right.
That's where our expertise lies. There are many other groups that work on energy policy issues. Conservation Law Foundation is excellent at
Yes, exactly.
energy policy work. We work in partnerships with organizations that have expertise in other areas, and we stick to our expertise. Our expertise is around water quality, the ecology of the bay, and so forth. So, I think that's a really important distinction. I'll give you another kind of example. On the Burrville Power Plant, we worked in partnership with Conservation Law Foundation, Rhode Island Audubon Society, and the Nature Conservancy in drafting a joint letter to the governor expressing our respective concerns for the Burrville Power Plant.
Right.
Our concerns were principally focused around impact on watershed health.
Yep.
And obviously CLF's, their concerns have been focused primarily on the energy issue, the fossil fuel energy issue. Nature Conservancy and Audubon were principally concerned about the integrity of the woodlands and forests and watershed of Rhode Island.
Right.
So we each brought different perspectives, and I think that adds strength to the concerns that we all collectively expressed about the Burrville Power Plant.
Okay. That sounds fine. I mean, I think that's important for people to know, right? That you're going to be concentrating on your area of expertise, and if they're expecting wider environmental concerns to come out, that might not be the case with Save the Bay.
Well, exactly. I mean, we're going to focus on things that are really in the center of the bullseye for our mission.
Yep.
And others, we hope, do the same. And I think the strength of the whole environmental movement is that you have various voices on various issues that bring expertise to various problems.
Okay.
And we believe strongly in that. And I would just add that our focus is our strength. We have earned the respect over many, many years
Yes.
for our work because we really do bring expertise to issues that revolve around the bay.
Right. So what would you say to that woman? Like, if you had been there when that woman from the east side was saying, well, I can't believe they're not on this issue, blah, 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 would you have said, well, that's not what we do, and therefore, if that's the thing you're interested in, you should send your money elsewhere? Or how would you have responded to her? Because she was very interested in this subject.
I would essentially say, listen, our work and our mission is principally focused around Narragansett Bay and the coast of Rhode Island and the watershed of Narragansett Bay.
Right.
And we're not an energy advocacy firm. That's not what we do. We're not all things to all people. We're focused on these issues that I described. And, I would encourage her, for example, to support Conservation Law Foundation when it comes to energy policy, because they are really, really good. They have great expertise in it. And these issues, and I'm sure if you've reported on this general topic in the past, the issues revolving around energy are extraordinarily complex.
Yes, they are.
Involving distribution, many sources of generation, contracts, and one person. Here's another sort of interesting thought: one person's renewable source of energy is another person's ecological nightmare.
Right.
Think hydropower.
Oh, I know.
So anyway,
I know.
That's what I would say to her. I respect people's opinion, and I respect her opinion that if this is an issue that concerns her, this particular proposal, I think she should support organizations that bring expertise to the energy field to this issue.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope that's helpful.
Oh, it is. I'm going to probably concentrate more on our discussion than anything else, I think, at this point. If you think of anything you want to add, just email me or just put a quick drop an email. I'm going to try to transcribe as much of this as I can from my notes and do a good job on it and give you guys. Yeah, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah. One other thing I'd say, because there was a note in your note, Save the Bay has been silent on the issue. As Cindy may have shared with you, we did push out about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
A brief statement on the issue.
Yes,
and
I have
have comments.
Yep.
Maybe a year ago on it that you correctly were aware of. So
yeah, I have an email from
almost
exactly 1 year. Yeah.
We're happy to talk to anybody about it. We're very transparent about our perspective on it, and we invite people, if they are interested to learn more, then to be in touch with us.
All right, great. Thank you so much.